Welcome to another edition of E.W. Jackson for America. Great to be with you again today. I want to remind everybody today that once again, now tomorrow I'll do the full program. It usually runs about 45 minutes, but today we're only going to run about 20 minutes because I've got to do American Family Radio. I'm substituting for Pastor Jeff Shreve this morning on American Family Radio, and that program starts at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. If you want to join me on that, because you just haven't gotten enough, you can go to afr.net. You can listen there. If there's no radio station in your area, you can listen at afr.net. You can go to the American Family Radio app. If you've got that on your tablet or on your phone, you can listen to it there. Again, or a radio station near you. But I will be there at 9 a.m. So I have to cut it a little short here so I can get ready to switch over to Strictly Radio. By the way, I've been planning to live stream those programs, but it's simply there's some kind of technical problem that we have not been able to overcome with our live stream system. We're live streaming now. Oh my goodness. Well, actually that doesn't really matter. I just wanted to make sure that everything was in order there. And I looked over and I saw something on the screen that didn't look quite right. And I'm thinking, oh, wow. But so I'll be on the radio at 9 a.m. and I have to cut this program short in order to do that. So let me get right to it, shall we? We're 12 days away from the election. I was reminded of something as I was thinking this morning about what I was going to talk about. Something that I brought to you, I think about 2 weeks, maybe a month ago. It was this, that the Lord had really laid on my heart that we need to be praying, forgive this big theological word, imprecatory prayers. And imprecatory means that it is a prayer for the defeat of one's enemy. And that can involve several things. And obviously, for us as Christians, it would not involve seeing people die or get sick and get cancer or anything like that. But it is an appropriate prayer to pray for chaos in the enemy's camp, to pray that they would not be able to get their act together, to pray that they would stumble all over themselves, that they would say stupid things, that they would not be able to agree, that they would basically just falter within their own camp. That's a kind of imprecatory prayer. And I began to pray that for God's supernatural divine intervention on our behalf, in behalf of this nation, in behalf of the believers who are crying out to him, and to just allow complete chaos and disorder and anarchy to rule in the enemy's camp so that they can't accomplish their desired ends. You know what? And I recommended everybody pray that prayer, and I'm still recommending it, by the way, with 12 days left. I think that prayer is being answered by God. I just thought about it this morning, but you think about what they're doing. Here in the end, I talked about the strategy of mass hysteria. Is clearly not working. I mean, it's clearly not working. But in the meantime, they're making all kinds of stupid mistakes that are just obvious, and yet they're walking right into them. So, for example, just a small one, really, but I think significant in terms of cementing the electorate's perception of, excuse me, of Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party as really dishonest, hypocritical, conniving, diabolical people. So, for example, they're putting out this meme, Donald Trump's exhausted, Donald Trump's exhausted, while she takes 2 days off the campaign trail. It really makes you look stupid. I mean, if you're going to say Donald Trump's exhausted, you make that statement maybe while Donald Trump's taking a day off for golf, which he hasn't done. I mean, he plays golf, but he has not taken, I think this is day number 54, straight campaigning. No days off, no time off. The man is a juggernaut. But you try to find some moment where you can make that claim where you look energetic and he looks maybe tired, like he's resting. Of course, when would that moment be? I can't think of one, frankly, for Donald Trump. But you certainly don't make that claim when Donald Trump is on the campaign trail doing 3 or 4 events a day and you are taking a day off. Just saying. You don't claim to be a man's man and I've got guns and, I'll go hunting. And then you get out with the cameras on you and you've got your own shotgun and you don't know how to load it. It doesn't make sense. It's like, what are you doing? And here recently, this Democrat candidate, where is he? I didn't even get the details. I just heard the broad strokes. But this Democrat candidate who wanted to demonstrate his prowess on the firing line and is a reporter out there observing, and the reporter gets hit with some shrapnel from the bullet. But according to Lawrence Jones of Fox and Friends, they placed the reporter downrange from the firing line. You shooters out there, are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking? Have these people lost their minds? Now look, I am not an expert at shooting. I would call myself at best maybe an intermediate, but I am an experienced shooter, okay? And I brought people to locations where I'm in control of the situation and, everybody is there sort of under my aegis. And I don't care whether you're an experienced shooter or you're an intermediate or you're a beginner, I lay down the safety rules. Straight up, because whatever happens, I'm going to be responsible. I lay down the safety rules. I've never had anybody say, I don't want to follow that. But if you did, you'd be gone. And one of the safety rules is when you are changing a target, when you are looking at a target, when someone is going downrange to either look at a target, to change a target, or to do anything downrange, all guns are either holstered or they are on the platform. No gun is in anybody's hand while someone goes downrange. Because it's too easy for an accident to happen. Oh, I was only trying to clear this jam. And boom, somebody's shot. Or, wow, I was just pulling my gun out of my holster and it went off and somebody's shot. No, all guns are holstered or on the platform while someone is downrange. If anyone is there who doesn't want to shoot and wants to observe, like a cameraman, for example, in this case, the cameraman is behind the firing line. Not downrange, not, but yeah, I'm way off to the side. All it takes is for some novice or some accident to happen to throw off a person's trajectory. And you're out there on the field where the bullets are flying and you get shot. I mean, but here again, with this, both Tim Walz's situation and this situation where a reporter is shot, these are both the result of people trying to be what they're not. That's why that happens. They're trying to be what they're not. Because if you're really that experienced a shooter, you know good and well, you don't allow a cameraman or anybody else to be in front of the firing line where you're shooting. I don't care how far off they are. Because if they're in the general direction of the fire and something goes wrong, that something could be fatal. But, look, and by the way, I'm not celebrating that the cameraman got shot. He apparently wasn't really wounded in any way, continued to do his job. I don't know whether he was grazed or some shrapnel hit him, but so it didn't cause him any serious injury. I think he had a little nick, and they band-aided that up and moved on. But come on. and apparently the guy, the candidate is a Marine Corps veteran. And again, you ought to know better, because we were trained not only on the M16 or M17, or actually I think on both, but also on the 1911 45. So, and we spent a week on the firing range during boot camp, and then more time, of course, in advanced infantry training, which every Marine must endure. Advanced infantry. But you know what, Lord? Without anybody getting killed, without anybody even getting injured, continue to bring chaos, disorder, anarchy, confusion into their ranks so that they cannot carry out their nefarious plans. In Jesus' name we pray it. So may the last 12 days be the most confusingly raucous, inept, incompetent, ineffectual, you name it, whatever adjective I can come up with, campaign times they have ever had, because the thing is starting to implode, folks, and may it continue to implode, and politically speaking, of course, collapse in on their heads. That's one thing I wanted to get out of the way. Okay. Nevertheless, they're continuing on their mass hysteria campaign of trying to paint Donald Trump as the monster. And here's the next question I want to raise with you. What do you think is going to happen when Donald Trump wins? What do you think is going to happen when he wins? I predicted he's going to win. What's going to happen when he wins? Do you think there are going to be riots? Do you think there are going to be protests? Do you think there's going to be disorder? Do you think there's going to be an attempt to precipitate a civil war? Let me give you my answer. You think about what yours is. If you call me, if you tune in on the radio program, you'll be able to actually call in and give me your answer, because I'm going to pose the same question to my audience today. I really do believe that there are going to be riots and protests. Because look, folks, you can't, in the same way I, for all practical purposes, predicted assassination attempts on Donald Trump. I said, because you can't say that a man is Adolf Hitler and that a man is the equivalent of Osama bin Laden without really implying that somebody ought to kill him. That's what you're saying. When you use these kind of lying, over-the-top, demagogic descriptions of the man, you are really putting a target on his back. And of course, some of them say so explicitly, yeah, they hope he does get killed. Well, likewise, if you say that he is the paradigm of evil, that he is the equivalent of Adolf Hitler, that he is a dictator, that he is a fascist, when he gets elected, what is it you expect people to do with this monster as you have described him? Do you expect them to simply accept his presidency as business as usual? I don't think they do. I think they want chaos. I think they want disorder. I think they don't want it in their camp while they're trying to win, but for the country, because they don't care what happens to the country, they only care about whether they have power over the country. So what happens to the country is irrelevant to them as long as the end result is that they are in power. So I would say this. I do not believe that this is going to result in a civil war, but I do believe that it's going to result in some disorder. So as the special operators say, keep your head on a swivel, watch your back, just be ready for whatever happens. Just be ready. Because I really do think that there's going to be some serious disorder. Now, here is where I hope and pray that I am wrong, and that everything just stays peaceful and calm, and people just accept that Donald Trump's been elected, and they go on with their stupid rhetoric, but nothing else. If that happened, I would love it, and I certainly, I'm not saying I don't want that to happen. I do want that to happen, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be some disorder, because I think they've sown the seeds of disorder by the horrible ways in which they have described Donald Trump. So I would just say to you, let's finish this thing. Let's run right through the finish line. Let's get every vote we can out. As I've said before, I've voted already. I trust that you have. If you haven't, that you will be voting soon. I had a men's meeting last night at my church, and I did have a couple people say they're going to vote on Election Day, and that's fine. But to the extent we can, we need to take advantage of this early voting and get the votes in the can, and then try to encourage others to get out and vote by doing exactly what I'm doing. Say, I voted already. Did you vote? Or get out there and vote. Because now we don't have just one day to mobilize the vote. We've got several weeks. And the thing is, the Democrats have been doing it. We've got to do it. We've got to do it. But I understand people who don't. I don't like it either. I think voting ought to happen in one day, ought to be settled that day, and that ought to be it. My wife prefers that too. Of course, we all do. My wife has said, she doesn't like the idea of voting early. She likes voting on Election Day, and I know there are a lot of people who feel the same way. But I think we've got to deal with the hand we've got to play the hand we've been dealt, as they say. And that's the hand we've been dealt. So let's just take advantage of it. Take full advantage of it. Vote early. Don't vote often. but we'll leave that to the Democrats. They vote early and often, and 5 or 6 times if they can, and they'll vote dead people, and they'll vote illegal aliens, and they'll just we don't roll that way. We do it according to God's standards. We do it with integrity. We do it with honor. We do it with honesty. But by all means, get the vote out there. We're going to win this thing, but we can't take a single vote for granted. Every single one of us has got to be on the front lines of this thing. Well, Bill Gates, I guess, jealous of Elon Musk, or resenting Elon Musk and his contribution to the Trump campaign, has quietly donated $50 million to Kamala Harris. Now, you can't give $50 million to the Kamala Harris campaign. He's obviously giving $50 million to some super PAC that's supporting the Kamala Harris campaign, because it's illegal. The maximum donation for Bill Gates is the same as it is for each and every one of us. I forget what it is now. I think it's about $3,400 per person. A couple then can give twice that as a couple. But you are limited in the amount you can give to a particular candidate. So he's obviously donating this to some kind of PAC that is supporting Kamala Harris, which then can't coordinate with her, but can do what it can to help her. The same way my super PAC, we don't have $50 million in it, by the way. But my super PAC is supporting Donald Trump, but we can't coordinate with the Trump campaign. I don't talk to Trump people. That's illegal. We have to do what we do independently. So as you know, we are working on the black vote in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Once again, go to our website, standamericapac.us, and the spots are on the website. There are 4 of them, one on killing unborn babies, one on the gender issue, one on illegal immigration, and one on manhood. So check them out. Let me know what you think of them. And if you're so inclined, make a contribution to help us get some more spots out there. We can place these spots. I mean, we've got 12 days left, but we can place spots right now. All we got to do is pick up the phone and say, run these spots. And we have a way of wiring the money to the radio station so they're paid right away. No problemo. We can get it done. So don't feel like, well, it's too late now. It's not too late. In fact, we've increased our buy. We've added some spots to every station we're running on. And we're spending tens of thousands of dollars to get this done, folks. So, because again, I'm not leaving anything on the table. I don't want to leave anything in the ring. This is This is all or nothing time, and it's all, as far as I'm concerned. It's all in. All right, well, look, I've got to stop there because I got to get ready to transition to the next stage here. I'll be on American Family Radio at 9 a.m. sitting in for Pastor Jeff Shreve on his program. So tune in there, and we'll have some more. And, of course, I'll be taking some calls, so you can call me and answer the question I posed to you. What do you think is going to happen after the election? Because I'm going to be asking my audience that. Okay, so in the meantime, you know what to do. In addition to vote, stand up, step up, speak up, refuse to back up, because we cannot be defeated if we will not quit, because we are on God's side. God bless everybody.